continue our conversation, we will now switch gears to a discussion that we're having with some spirits from the other side as I partake in a movie called The Man Who Knew Infinity. And letting you know that instantly as I turn on the movie, I begin to write a novel of getting and gathering characters of those of what we could consider ancient times, and letting everyone know that as soon as a female enters into the space, a man's creativity is stopped. For example, there's a scene in the movie where the man is sitting at the beach with his occurring as wife, and he says some very romantic language associated to the ocean, and she says, "You bring me to the ocean and you don't look at me, you look at the ocean." A typical answer for a woman who is completely clueless, completely self-centered, and an Indian. Our next discussion moves us to a recognition globally for every countryman, for every large city, small city. Doesn't matter where you're from, and this is where we're going to take this conversation to let you know that there's like tons, millions, billions of people. Billions. These are people. These are signifying people. Out of the billions of people, there's really only a select few who are willing to step outside the box, who are willing and daring to think new ways and then educate and discuss and get curious and move through pathways. Meaning, you want to pull those people out in this moment and then consider equality. Meaning, your prostitutes and your panderers, which is what is mountainous and abundant throughout your platforms, is they're bottom dwellers and they are not teaching you anything to evolve you. You want to understand that there's a educational level that goes side by side with common sense as well as intelligence. And I mean intelligence as in book smart or physics or math or things like that. Now, it's very rare if you can have both. But the intelligent with the common sense can create a personality which definitely can evolve their ideas into more expansive experiences for humanity. See, most people don't have common sense. Most people don't have intelligence, common sense, and then add people skills. Because if you have the intelligence of a brainiac, you likely don't have the capability to converse with people on an emotional level. And if you have common sense, you can evolve your intelligence by seeing things around you and evolving your intelligence with common sense. But if you have people skills, you're able to work through the problem by communicating it to others, and sometimes that's often helpful in your evolution of your ideas. And you can also, with people skills, your blink of an idea can evolve into interest, which actually manifests and moves the idea into more tangible experiences, such as Newton's law of gravity. Now, as you strain the fat, these people here are neither intelligent, have no common sense, and sometimes have no people skills. And they live here. However, if they push themselves, they may have people skills, they may have intelligence, and they may have common sense through repetitive reminding, but that actually will develop them into more curious ways of living. Now, with these people here at the low end, which is all content creation at this time, the goal is to, well, let's just take content creators out and just say the mass of the entire globe, and we pulled out the people that are the high producing advancement of society. And I'm not talking about AI and things like that. That's like a whole nother ball game, because we're looking at ethics, morals, and values as completely missing. That goes for Chat PTG. So anyone working on this low vibration is working in a AI form and a Chat PTG form, which is basically taking out common sense, people skills, and intelligence. They're working down here. Now, if these people were to go to the top rings as an education, not money, but being well known and being seen, these folks may or may not develop a more educated version of themselves, because then what you have is an abundance of people able to communicate new ways of thinking. Still down here, hopes and dreams, and even if like they're still simple-minded, what they do have and strive for is a knowledge around ethics, morals, and values that will advance society as an energetic shift. Now, what we have at the bottom here is what you've done instead is you've pulled out the prostitutes. You've pulled out the wealthy with no education who are able to lie about pharmacy assistant school and call them Pharma D, and then call themselves on a podcast stating that they went from East Coast to West Coast, although they said they were born in the West Coast. You've made those folks the leaders of the bottom dwellers. And you've placed a fear game within society, while high-performing, intelligent individuals who have ethics, morals, and values, intelligence, common sense, and people skills, you've made everything that they represent in society completely wrong because you're less advanced. Because you're less advanced. And so instead of asking for the education and then for them to stomp all over the person who has all the education, you bottom dwellers attempted to grab the education for yourself, occur as assisting folks, and then running off to the bank, leaving all the good information from all the way back in past times of infinity in the past. Not bringing it along, because the new way of talking is all about yourselves attached to a man with no spiritual evolution, but you're lying about having spiritual evolution, and you talk nothing more than gossip about a reality television show. He's so nice. He's so kind. He's so this. I did this. I did this. I feel this. You're so brave. You're so brave. You're so brave. When in reality, you're not brave at all because you're completely lying. which then actually, as one woman is a Persian and one woman is a white woman, leaves a disconnect because in reality, they actually can't stand each other, although they're competing for the same crown, which is all malicious behavior associated to knowledge and education and spirituality, yet they're not evolved as people at all, yet somehow they are leading the space in health and wellness and fitness, but they put people in a cage associated to health and wellness and fitness. However, for some reason, the mass quantity of entrepreneur utilizes looks instead of actions without assistance for their following, by the way. Meaning when you watch certain fitness influencers' content, you actually become more disempowered attached to fitness because that's how self-centered they are. When you watch certain people clean eating, they're so stingy with information, you actually feel more disempowered than before you watch the images. However, they're so perfect and pure in image and brand that somehow you get attached to image and brand, that it'll actually destroy your marriage, destroy your life, destroy your body, destroy your family, destroy yourself, because now you're stuck on the couch and you can't figure out why you can't get off the couch to go lift some weights, even though you did it for so long. Meanwhile, if you are doing the work, they get jealous. And those same individuals who are claiming to be your coach are the same individuals who will stop you from being successful, because nobody's going to be more successful than them. And that's women in business. We digressed a little, but to show you the power of social media, but not power as in empowering you, but is one reason why you're experiencing fear associated to certain platforms, especially TikTok and Instagram, as we continuously see crap photos. It's like the photo in the photo frame at the Walmart with the frame with the people inside, and you're always like, they're so fake. No one ever looked at those photos and said, I wish I could be that happy. However, all these individuals do is talk about how beautiful this is and how this looks, which is a complete opposition to what their counterparts are expressing on their platforms. So as we head over into Cambridge, is really where I was going with all of this. In every culture, there are good people and there are bad people. Meaning, if I was living in Germany during World War II, I would hide Jewish people and I would try to overthrow my government. So as I live in the United States of America, as I'm watching Black Lives Matter and content creators not only destroy this country, but destroy a nation, I will reach out and talk with anyone out there who will listen, as my own government withholds my American citizen right while supporting a Persian and a Russian and a woman who looks like a walking stick. All of which are not assisting humanity, but only helping their own personal money bag. Meanwhile, I am someone with a valuable degree who's been tormented and tortured by my state and federal government systems, to where I've reached and had no assistance from anyone. While we cry out, America the free, America the brave, and all kinds of other things that are just not true. Let's see. Gary's chiming in and acting as if he's the victim. Well, I'm sorry, Gary, but when you don't speak out against the villain. You're actually the villain. And that goes for each and every one of you out there who is working for the Koch party individuals. Meaning, I've requested assistance from all of you now for 6 years. And see, the women over there that you sit next to and you go on fancy vacations with to Monte Carlo and on fancy yachts, they're laughing at this video while they make plans with you to go on another trip so you can show off your party circuit, while all of you have children at home, but you have a nanny. That will not be the future of America, I can tell you that much. It might be how you raise your children, but us middle class who have real lives, we don't operate like that. You must have crossed over to the dark side, because it sure looks like it. That means 42 million people have also crossed over to the dark side, and they're pretty much clueless on anything that has to do with the reality of what's going on in the world, because you're not teaching it. You're not showing them. You're actually showing them who you really are because you're standing next to a walking stick. And that's just as bad business. It's bad business. Because at least before, when you were teaching and you were landing on people, you actually stood for something. So what we're seeing now is someone who is teaching things, however, they aren't living those things. Meaning they're just out to create more content associated to their villain known as Monavand, who's a Persian who is very strange, who's uneducated in health and wellness, who is not a good yoga teacher, nor is she a good yoga student. Same thing for Melissa Wood. I'm not sure exactly how you got a body like that. It's really weird looking. Pilates? I'm sorry, but I've done Pilates and I've done yoga for long periods of time, as well as heavy, long hours of lifting. And the best body that I've ever gotten was definitely a lifting body associated to yoga. So I'm really not sure what's going on over there with your physique. It's very, very manly looking, actually. It's very much like Cameron Diaz's body. You must have been her trainer, actually. See, the funny thing about Melissa Wood is she doesn't really understand shaping a woman's body to be a woman. Man, we got a little sidetracked, didn't we? See, what I really would like to do is to work more on this kind of stuff. To focus on the people that are, and there could potentially be a lot of people to pull out and then like squash the content creators that are really up to nothing, which is most of them. None of them are really up to anything. I can take you on a 3-minute ride that takes Melissa Wood an hour, which is literally, for Melissa Wood, it looks like have empathy, and then she incorporates a bunch of jargon conversation, which really kind of looks like, hold on. It looks like this. Looks really much like that, meaning she like starts the conversation, and then instead of directly getting answers, but she wants to sound smart, and they all do this. Fluff talking, fake laughing, it's very strange. So instead of getting direct answers, because they never prepare for anything, nor have they ever studied in anything, they claim Joe Dispenza, but we all know Joe Dispenza is a schizo psychopath who hypnotizes people into his frog alien-like face, who worships Ramtha, who's a wacko. Let's see. Have you ever seen his daughter? Exactly. versus real conversation, you get really not a lot of substance, even though you're already wealthy. But you don't want to, with your crew, you don't want them to think anything other than that you're the best. Then you want to make them feel guilty when they don't show up to your class. It's another tactic of what these women do. They want you to feel bad about what you look like, what you say, that it doesn't sound like them. And so there's other little tactics that women like Mona Van and Melissa Wood do. So Mona Van right now is learning Melissa Wood's tactics because she thinks she'll be the next Melissa Wood with Gary's help. And he's on board because he's traveled with her all across the globe. However, I can guarantee you none of Melissa Wood's clients have ever done more than one workout with her, which means that she doesn't have any real results of helping people break through in a workout. She just created the brand and the image attached to some fancy hair, face, makeup, voice idea that she made up, which you really need to take a look and listen to what she says because she really talks about nothing. My journey to entrepreneurship will be struggle, work, and then more work, and then we made money, and then we went here, 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 and then we did this. And I haven't listened to the podcast, by the way. And then we went here, and then we did this, and then I saw Gary, and then I saw this, and then I married that guy, and then I had kids, and then I decided to do this, and then we did this. But that's not actually educational. Because in that, she'll say struggle, but she won't say how she struggled, nor will she come up with a breakthrough for you to see how a person struggled, because she's never actually struggled. She's only had low self-esteem that she never healed from because she's that insecure and she's posturing. However, she's on a 4-group text with Gary Vee, who's constantly motivating her to keep producing content because that's who he's actually talking to now. So before, Gary used to work with the youngsters, the low, you could call it low followers. However, with the low followers, you want to know that we got common sense, you got intelligence, you got people skills, you got ethics, morals, and values. Okay, so then you wanted to pull out, you could pull them even from the bottom here. You could pull them from the top, which is all the educational pieces. But all these people were up to something. They had dreams, they had passion. However, that's not who he works with now. He decided that he wanted to do an NFT project where he was going to build your finances for you. And so he did. And as I told him in the beginning, if he were to do what he did with Motivand, that he was going to bring seduction into the space. And that happened. I also told him that people don't appreciate anything that they get for free. Again, all these folks who are working with VeeFriends also do not appreciate him for anything that he's done. However, they will constantly berate him with gratitude, which is all fake. So it actually leaves him more depleted than it would if somebody were educated with common sense, intelligence, people skills, ethics, morals, and values that they worked for, or at least felt grateful for enough to assist him in growing the VeeFriends. But instead, he still focuses all of his energy on Motivand and how he's going to help her career. Well, he does the same thing over and over again on his platform, saying the same thing he said 6 years ago, 7 years ago, 8 years ago, and 9 years ago. Meanwhile, he's promoting, if you don't work for it, then you haven't earned it. Yet we're literally watching him assist low-class civilians, low-class individuals that he calls himself, he even called himself the other day on his podcast, a high-profile famous person. While he's sitting in Motivand's parents' bedroom or some crap. I'm a high famous person, folks. You work for me, he says. Because what happens is when you hang out with people like Mona Van and Melissa Wood, you start accidentally talking like them because it's so like mesh of nastiness. And so everybody in that session who were nasty people anyway were even more nastier when they left that session because of the way Gary Vaynerchuk spoke and who he's become since he's been engaged to Mona Van with a diamond ring about this big. Travels to football games, travels to 4-star hotels, gets his nails done, doing his eyebrows now. Oh, but you know, eat more blueberries. As long as she is sweet and can handle the room when we go to foreign governments. I mean, she is a parrot and a bikini top wearer, which is so professional. I mean, she's super hot. As he again throws the towel in, yet next week, tomorrow, this weekend, whatever, he'll post more videos and more content to fuel her career. While the people that have so much potential that he used to help walk away. And now he's stuck with all of Mona Van's crew, helping them succeed and using that energy that once was used for good to be used for the devil's use. And that's why you have to be careful who you surround yourself with. Because you may not see it because that's a blind spot. Your old blind spots shift into new blind spots. And you might be thinking that you've got this and that ain't ever going to happen. I can assure you it will happen because who you surround yourself is who you become. And that's my line. We are in a rocky world right now, folks, of content creators trying to overthrow governments with an American government system that's allowing it, that's paying these content creators, working with corporate America to purposely place in content creators' videos, sounds, videos, to be very much like an AI system to confuse you into psychosis so they can control you. Not out of the 1950s version, but something far worse. Not the 1970s uproar, something far worse. Because there is a need for laws and rules, and there are a expectation of the 12 and a half ingredients. However, you don't just tell people to do it and then not really give any definitive examples to assist them in evolving with it. Because otherwise it just ends up being a surface conversation where these lowlives pull out that information and then they model it, or they, not model it, but you know what I mean, model it. They pretend they know what it is, and then you fall for it because they look a certain way, but the reality is they were never intelligent to begin with. They were just a scripted reality star. And the surprising thing is that they've turned you into one too. And that's the sad part of all. Because if you go back and look at Gary Vaynerchuk's videos from 2006, 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way forward until 2020, probably, I would say 20, maybe 19. That man ain't the same no more. Although he'll cry out and say, yes, I am, yes, I am. Somebody who's been what you've been through with that woman will never be the same again. You'll never be the same again. And you will marry her because that's what you'll do to keep your image in place and in check. Because it's more important for you to have a brand and an image than to educate your community on a man who already has $200 million. Because you want to fit in with the famous people, because that was your dream long ago. It's why you hung out with Jessica Alba. It's why you invited Drew Barrymore. It's why you hung out with Gwyneth Paltrow, feeling all successful because they were flirting with you. Those people aren't people. They're self-righteous, egotistical slime balls who have pretty makeup and are abusive to their fans and followers and have created a feminine psychosis of gaining weight for other women so that they can thrive and everybody else can fail. Because they have no people skills. They're just actresses pretending like they do. Just like Mona Van, just like Melissa. However, theirs is worse. Theirs is worse. And that's what Entrepreneur is up to on these platforms collectively. Meaning they don't show up and call people out. They show up and smile to the person that they can't stand, which creates a toxic work environment and no accessibility route for those of us who are actually out to help people. Who go, like me, those of us who are actually out to help people, for you to get what you want, for me to stay here in this house and make a reasonable income, not millions of dollars a year. No, I said a reasonable income. However, he wants her, Mona Van, to make $10,000 a brand deal or $30,000 a brand deal. Tell me who in their right mind is doing well in brand deals and on the internet and decides to shut it down in the middle of the process. Only someone who's a complete liar. Only someone who knows that they've been caught doing something that they shouldn't be doing. So it is curious to me how long Gary Vaynerchuk and Mona Van have actually been as partners. How long that he's been spying on my content to expose all my knowledge for her knowledge. And how long you've been watching this platform to see how you could win while I lose. And what's your involvement in it, all of you? Because that flirty, charming, nonsense behavior doesn't work. A real woman doesn't show up to a professional business meeting in a bikini top. Nor does she flirt with a man across from her at the table. Your first sign. Pure Wow 2019. I don't post music for the music. I post it for the ladies. With that being said, I don't know. I just wrapped it around. People skills show up in many ways, and being direct and straight with people is very much a people skills because people don't always like it, although it gets the job done. And if you really want real movement in your business and you got common sense and you want things handled, you speak the truth, you speak direct. You use the brain of the science that God gave you, the lessons you learned in school. You have ethics, morals, and values. Why do you think I say these things? You think I really enjoy taking Gary Vaynerchuk's legacy and running it through the dirt? Do you? No, it's because I have ethics, morals, and values. And when I see things out in the world that don't work, compassion, please. Empathy, give me a break. Got that too. When the compassion and the empathy ain't coming this way, and I see nothing but gothic devil behavior, when your lives are at risk you better believe that I'm going to be calling your asses out left and right. See, the problem with content creators is they don't really know ethics, morals, and values. They know tits and ass. They know how to manipulate an audience to get what they want from you. However, I've been through some major developments in evolution of transformative educational learning. Meaning I've had and watched people transform from the darkest spaces of their life. And I know that's capable and possible for you. I want you to see what's important to you, first of all. Not what's important to Mona Van. No, what's important to you? Is it your children? Is it your fitness? Is it your job? Is it your husband? And then you work through things in your own self to where you can take things with you. You take them with you, not me. You do the work, and then you work it out to where if it happens again, you'll work it out again. To the point where at some point you've reached such a high level of intelligence, common sense, and people skills with ethics, morals, and value and care for other people that you then start educating others. How the hell do you think that this work gets passed down from person to person to person? It is not from Mona Van. A Persian. You want Persian legacy? Take a look at the gold she has on her diamond finger. Take a look at the gold dress that she'd be wearing at her birthday party. Mona June. The most grotesque experience I've ever had in a relationship in my entire life has been watching what you've done. And I've had some really shitty things happen to me, but this, in physical form, watching it, has been the most disgusting thing I've ever seen, felt, and been a part of. And that's what I fight against, is so that this doesn't happen to anyone else, and if it does, it gets handled appropriately. So security team, if you're watching this, screw you. Gary Vaynerchuk, Mr. Glam fame, eyebrow, nails, screw you. And if this is who you really are, you belong with them. And I will do whatever it takes to expose you for the lies that you've done, but not just for me, but for your entire community and across the globe. Your people skills will only take you so far, because when I'm done with people, they'll be able to see right through the bullshit. And I believe it's already starting, Mona June. Melissa Lid, your hair and makeup and your fake skin is really bizarre. And most people don't actually like you, which is really crazy to me that you're able to manipulate them so badly to hate themselves that much that they can put you on a pedestal like that. And the fact that you agree to any of this, any of you, sorry, we're doing a little energy work. We're cross-talking a little. You agreed to this. You laughed as you signed the contract. You purposely posted these videos so that I would see them, and then you continuously stabbed me in the back. He even wrote the book 12 and a Half Emotional Ingredients because of me. He also did the NFT project because of me. However, Mona June is the one that's assisting him growing the platform, isn't he? The problem here is that I will not get off of it until you admit what you've done. So you want to understand that this Mona June bitch and all her little friends stop you from learning what you deserve to learn. Meaning there is a whole heck of a lot of information for all these little tidbits of people waiting to come out of their shells. Holding your hand while you're producing in a way that's empowering. Educating you on why you feel ways that you feel. Transforming your energy from negative to positive. Being part of a real community. However, that will never happen until Mona June and her Melissa and all those other girls are taken care of. And what does that mean? Exposing them for who they are. And you men finally standing up for what you were born here to do, was to protect the innocent. I'm the innocent. You're the guilty. Money does a lot of bad things to people's brains. And so I wonder what bad thing that it's done to your brain, Gary Vee, because every time I turn around, you're talking as if your fame and your money doesn't matter, and if you lost it all tomorrow, it wouldn't mean anything to you. However, I'm not sure why you would want to give that money away to Mona. Nor am I sure why you would want to give away your brand and your personality to her either. So you can hang out with Leonardo DiCaprio? So you can be on the cover of Fanatics magazine? So you can be cool for yourself because no one really gives a crap? Oh, but Mona does, and she is so grateful for you. She didn't think that she could ever meet anyone in her life like you. I mean, no one else ever bent over backwards and bowed to her feet like Gary Vee. Literally, that's what she says. So that's what you're telling me your relationships is going to be, is carrying her purse, wiping her ass, and paying for everything. That's a typical marriage, by the way. To women like that, that's the typical marriage. That doesn't really sound like somebody from Edison, New Jersey, who grew up in a one-bedroom and then moved to New Jersey so his dad can grow a business. But hey, you know, people change, unfortunately. Unfortunately, people change. And so we'll see how all this uncovers, as I've said, for like 6 years. For like 6 freaking years while he goes on another trip. In another bikini top, as he allows her to be the hostess of his fashion show, where she's the last one seen in the Vayner Media Daily V video. She's walking onto the stage by herself as if she's taking over VaynerX. And that's in her radar, otherwise I wouldn't have said it. Good luck to the staff. Good luck to Gary Vee. You're definitely going to need it.